Live from the Now Media Newsroom.
Well, I put this on yesterday with, I did be on the ballot yesterday with Renee Merrifield, former MLA here in BC. And I said, oh, this unknown lady put up her show, and she said, oh, she's actually very connected here, this Caroline Elliott, and we're going to try and get her on the show with me and Renee next week. We're going to try and get her on, but she is talking about, I think she's somehow related to, I think, Kevin Falcon somehow or something. You have to go watch the show. I'm just using my old memory there from yesterday. Let's play this little clip from her on the Cowichan ruling, though.
Look, Doctor, there's obviously a leadership question here. Lenders are already pulling back sort of post-Cowichan ruling, like in that Richmond building project. How is EB's behind closed doors or cowardly hands-off approach to these court rulings already hitting families in the economy? And, you know, the BC Conservatives have finally moved on from John Rostad and are rallying strong into the holidays. What do you want to see from BC's leadership, like in this apparent vacuum over the last few months on this file?
Well, the BC Conservatives are absolutely right to have shifted significantly, I think, since John Rostad's departure in calling for an immediate repeal of DRIPA. That's, again, did I explain this? It's the legislation that puts UNDRIP into BC's laws. So that's the right call. I think that absolutely has to happen. It's an incredibly damaging framework in a country that actually already has really well-established constitutional rights that protect the rights of Indigenous peoples in various ways. Now, we're seeing huge uncertainty on the land base. We're seeing concern around lenders pulling out of deals in Richmond. We're seeing all kinds of title claims being made all around British Columbia on Vancouver Island, in the interior, in Coquitlam, you name it. So, and it's only going to keep happening. As I say to people all the time, the Cowichan title ruling was not the end of something. It was the beginning of something. It was the first of many. It actually wasn't even the first title declaration, but it was the first one over private property. So we have a very complex situation here. It does require really strong leadership. And what we've seen from the provincial government is a unwillingness to fight these claims adequately in court due to a directive issued by David Eby himself when he was Attorney General. It tied the BC lawyers' hands behind their back when they were making their arguments against some of these claims. That directive is still in place, by the way. He has not walked it back. So when we see these other claims being made, we should be very worried about the case that the government's putting forward. And there's a whole host of other issues, but I want to give you a chance to ask a question before I keep yakking.
No, that's why you're here. You're the expert.
That's good. Here's a tweet by Jordan Armstrong, works for Global here. The EB's starting to feel the heat for this. And I think even the reporters that are, typically on the far left there are starting to realize that their own properties could be up for, and it's really hurting investment in British Columbia right now. I mean, that last decision affected a gold mine. So who's going to invest capital in BC right now when you have no idea?
Well, it's not just mines, is it? I mean, it's what she said, and other people have said. It's like a precedent. It's precedent setting, isn't it? So it's going to affect everything, not just how you apply for mining rights or whatever. It's going to affect absolutely every aspect of
so there's lots of
government, of life, of everything in British Columbia. It almost turns British Columbia into it gives it a new political system almost overnight. It's impossible to exaggerate this, really. It's so crazy. And I'm wondering what EB's thinking right now, because he must, in his war room, he must be thinking, like, do I pull the trigger now and do an election? Do I call an election?
The lawsuits have started for EB, I believe, on this now already. So there's going to be a lot of lawsuits against the BC government because they won't have the money to pay this all back, because this calls into the legitimacy of the BC government, because they're the ones that sold this crown land. They sold this crown land to people that have the only recourse they really have is to sue the BC government because they're suffered damages. Because if the courts award this land to First Nations, then the homeowner only has one recourse: sue the government. How much money does the BC government have? Like they're wallowing in debt as well. The NDP, they've made a mess.
We don't just report the news. We live here too. We're your neighbors, bringing you stories that matter to all of us. No government funding, no outside influence. Kelowna Now, local, independent. News you can trust.